Hello, Jenny Hall here for Ink on 3. Today I have a nice ombre ink blending technique to share with you. I'm stamping with Little Birdie stamp set and I'm using some Atelier Inks from Ink on 3. I'm going to start out with a piece of pink cardstock and I'm using Sweet Petunia pink ink. I'm leaving the very top of the cardstock completely without ink, and I'm going to work the color from the top down to the bottom in darker, deeper shades. I chose to use pink cardstock because that's going to be my lightest color, and it would appear at the very top that it's just going to fade out into a very light pink color. Once I have a good section colored in the Sweet Petunia pink, then I'm using my blending brush to add some red tones. The pink ink and the red ink blend together so beautifully, and I really like how the red is like a deeper shade of the pink. It's the same tone, and it works together so nicely. So I'm going to speed the video up a little bit more here, and that way you're not just watching a color blending video. And I'm going to bring the red color all the way down to the bottom of the cardstock piece. After I have the color and the paper saturated down below, then I'm going to go back and smooth out things just a little bit more with some more of that beautiful red ink. And then that's going to allow me to bring some black ink to the bottom section, and it's not going to turn black. Instead, the black is going to mix with the red that's on the paper, and it's going to create this very, very rich, dark red color. Not quite a purple, but it's a very intense red. And at the very bottom, I'm adding even more just to get it down to where it does appear a little bit more black. So whatever your favorite method is for ink blending, just use it with the Atelier inks and you're sure to get some beautiful results. These inks do such a nice job blending together. Now I'm going to add some splatters from some Nuvo Embellishment Mousse, and this is the color called Mother of Pearl. The theme for the card started out as red and gold for a holiday card. And I decided that the red should kind of fade out into pink, and thus I used the pink ink and the pink cardstock. So Mother of Pearl is like a very pale gold color, and it's going to go together nicely with some gold embossed images. It'll be just a lighter gradual tone. So I've treated this panel with some anti-static powder, and then I'm stamping with Juicy ink with the beautiful big bloom that's from the Little Birdie stamp set. Then I've added some Ink on 3 Gold Rush embossing powder, heat set that, and look how it stands out so nicely on that background. I used a cloth just to clean up the powder bag residue. Now I'm going to stamp some more images. I'm stamping the bird onto a piece of watercolor paper, and I'm stamping the sentiments onto just some plain 110-pound Neenah cardstock. The bird will end up being watercolored with an easy watercolor method, and then I'll just use the sentiments that are heat embossed gold. So it's going to carry a lot of red and gold tones. Once this powder is heat set on both of my scraps of paper here, then I'm going to fussy cut the larger sentiment that says sending. But first, let's give some color to the bird. So the first thing I'm doing is I grabbed one of my water brushes from Ink on 3, and the water brushes that Florette carries in her store are superior to the ones that I've used before. They really work nicely on all kinds of paper. I'm going to take that brush and just kind of dip it onto the stamp pad. That's going to pull up just a little bit of the ink, and then I'm going to add that to the image that's already wet. So it'll be the wet on wet watercolor technique. If you prefer, you can use the ink refills and give them a really good shake to stir up the pigment ink, and then place them on a palette and do the watercoloring in that method as well. This was in order to save time. I just decided to use the stamp pad instead. So I've started out by using Bee Sting Yellow on the bird, and I'm trying to keep the chest area of the bird neutral without any ink on it. And after I used the yellow, then I used Twiggy Brown to add just a little bit more depth. And now I'm taking a wet paintbrush, and this is just a scrap paintbrush, the one that I made with the splatters with, and I'm dipping it in and getting some of that mousse wet, and it takes just a little bit, and it's almost like the pixie dust from the Ink on 3 store, but it carries a different color. The pixie dust is definitely like a silver clear, like just a straight glitter, but the Nuvo embellishment paste or embellishment mousse is just so creamy, and it gives a totally different look. Now I'm going to add these 2 gold embossed sentiments down to the card, and I'm adding them to the darker area so that they will stand out really nicely against the dark background, and that way all the beautiful red color can show through at the top. So I'm using some liquid glue and some double-sided foam and adhering the sentiments in place. I found some Fairy Rocks embellishment mix from Trinity Stamps that looks like it would match that embellishment mousse so easily and have the same sort of shine. So I added a few of those with my jewel picker, and that's our card. I would love to know if you like this method for coloring. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the Ink on 3 channel.